I just had the worst day ever at work, so sorry if I'm not sounding as peppy as I usually am, because really, I'm not. I'm really freaking tired, but I'm still doing this for you guys, so don't say I never did anything for you, okay? Oh, I'm gonna get a gift here, TM92. Oh, I remember this one. It's for Trick Room, an excellent move if you know how to use it. The slower Pokemon goes first for the next 5 turns, which means it's excellent on a team stacked with Slowpokes. In fact, the second to last battle in the Battle Revolution used a Trick Room team. And now, just a second, because I'm going to show you where the sweet key is. It's right here. So now that that's out of the way, I'm going to finish visiting the Lake Valley Resort. But yeah, what I was saying about that battle in Battle Revolution, it was really difficult, and using Thunderbolt on that Slowbro wasn't an option because it always came with a Lightning Rod Rhyperior, so yeah, one of the few times where Rhyperior not having Solid Rock is actually a good idea. But yeah, this is the reception counter of the Lake Valley Resort. A knight on a Pokemon. What kind of Pokemon would he be riding? Maybe a Terrakion? Okay, so okay, we get to rest a while. Yeah, right there in the reception counter. Super. Well, at least it's sort of a mini Pokemon center, since the distance between Veilstone and Pastoria is fairly long. And before I go into the restaurant, I'm just going to solve that little side quest with the sweet key. Okay, so where's my reward? Give me my reward. And please, no reward. Well, I'm gonna go in there, but I better have a reward for that. Okay, at least I'm gonna get something, and it is a white flute! Yay! Super! Which one of the two is it? Okay, it's the one that attracts more wild Pokemon for exactly 1 turn! So, it's completely useless. Yeah, and if I remember, Looker gives you the black flute later on in the game, which repels Pokemon for 1 step. So now we're going to get started on the 7-star restaurant. As you can see, there are 9 tables in this place. And currently there are 5 pairs of trainers to be battled. The 5 pairs of trainers that can be battled change each day. And it's not dependent on the day of the week. It's absolutely and completely random. So today I'm having those 5 fights, and tomorrow I could have, not another 5 fights because there's only 9, but a different set of 5 fights. I'm going to try and show you all of them over the next few parts, just because you would never forgive me if I didn't show a trainer I could fight without too much hassle. But yeah, this is basically how it works, so we're going to have to come back here a few times, even after we're done with the Lake Valley Resort, but at least it's very good experience. Well, not as good as that guy with the massive ice weakness back on Route 214, but those trainers, as I remember, are worth a lot of money. So if you want to build up your cash, just equip the amulet coin, go in there, go wild, fight everyone, and you should have a lot more cash very quickly. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you remember this, but all the way back in my Crystal LP, I mentioned someone who reviewed Hard Gold and Soul Silver, but the thing with that guy was that he talked about Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald being the first Pokemon game, then Fire Red and Leaf Green being Pokemon 2, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum being Pokemon 3, and Hard Gold, Soul Silver being Pokemon 4. And it was absolutely horrible. The reason why I'm saying this is because someone actually found a video of that guy. The guy apparently, from what I've been told, the original poster took it down, but someone else uploaded it so that everyone could gasp in horror at the outrageous amount of stupidity one human being can exude in 5 minutes. Now, I know you're masochists and you really want to see it, so I'm going to give you the link in the movie description. Seriously, it's worth at least a look. And if you manage to last throughout the entire video without pressing the back button, well, congratulations, you have a very high tolerance to stupidity. Just hearing of the possibility that Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald might be the first Pokemon games, I mean, Jesus! Do some research, kid! It's not that difficult! But anyway, yeah, go watch it and get the barf bags ready. In more positive news, the last 2 special event missions for Ranger 3 have been, well, I wouldn't say uploaded, but rather they're available for download right now, and as far as I know, there's no end date, but you still want to download them as quickly as possible. Those are the Giratina and Arceus missions. Unfortunately, those missions, unlike the other 4, don't let you have the Pokemon you capture at the end and transfer it to your Generation 4 games, so there's going to be no easy Arceus that way, I'm afraid. Oh, and by the way, I did mention my Crystal LP earlier on. Well, in another bit of throwback news, the very first side LP I did, Sonic 2 on Game Gear. You may remember that if you've been with me from the very beginning, but if you don't even know that I LP'd that game, I did LP that game, although the commentary might be a little subpar because I did that LP in my second week of LPing, so of course it's the very early Slow Flake with a much thicker French accent than I do now, but still, if you're a completionist and you want to watch every last one of my videos, you can watch it, but that's not the reason why I'm talking about it today. It's because, well, remember that first boss in that game? The one that, first things first, doesn't make any sense because Eggman saves you from falling into a pit of lava, and then he grabs you and drags you up to the arena where you fight the boss, and then Eggman from off-screen throws bouncing balls at you, and you gotta avoid the balls, and at the end there's a glitch where Eggman throws an extra ball while he's charging down at you, and that last ball isn't supposed to be thrown at all, and if you remember what happened in my LP, I made a sound like I was orgasming, so yeah, I was really happy at the way it turned out because I definitely remember that. It was probably my first great LPing moment. Basically what happened was that I jumped in between the bouncing ball and Eggman and jumped again right away, and I managed to avoid both. And if you remember, in that game, there are no rings in boss stages, so you get hit once, you're doomed. So that glitch was really, really annoying. Now, I've seen a video of the same boss fight on the Master System, which is the same thing as the Game Gear, except with a different name. I don't know where it was released, whether it was Japan or Europe or both, but in North America we got the Game Gear. But the Master System version of that boss fight is so much easier, you wouldn't believe it. It's like, oh, Togetic wants to learn Baton Pass. Well, it's a useful move if you want to have your entire set revolve around Baton Pass. Unfortunately, it's not the case for Togetic, so I'm just going to pass over. Now, as I was saying, in the Master System version of that fight, the balls all bounce the same height. There's none of that crap where, there are those balls that you gotta go under and other balls that you go over. You can just jump over all the balls since they all bounce down at the same height, and there's no glitch ball at the end. It's just Eggman charging at you, and he's really easy to dodge if you can see him coming. So, yeah, I'm gonna link to you the first part of my Sonic 2 on Game Gear LP so you can see the boss fight in the Game Gear version, and then you can compare with another link that I'm going to add to the movie description, which is the Master System version. So, yeah, of course, us North American players really, really got rotten on that one, because that boss is easily the hardest in the entire game. Yeah, the first boss is the hardest. It's that kind of game. Oh, and remember back in part 39 when I said that I was expecting people to ask me why I'm not going forward with the new time, the lack of time limit on YouTube, rather, and I said it's because of file size issues on my end, and I was expecting people to ask me why I didn't do it despite already explaining it, just like at the tail end of my Emerald LP when I didn't make 15-minute videos even though the limit was raised to 15 minutes. Guess what? I already got someone asking me why I wasn't doing it. So, I'm going to take my time and explain this once, really carefully. Basically what happens, and it's especially for my Super Mario 64 LP, it's that the lossless codec, if I tried to make a 15-minute video with the lossless codec of Mario 64, it would be 30 gigabytes. And Cam Studio can't output file sizes of over 2 gigabytes, so that is not good. So I found a way to go, around this limit by using the default codec instead and turning down the quality to 80%. So if the quality is a bit crappy on my Mario 64 videos, well, that's why. If I cranked it any higher up, either it would make the file size too big, or the frame rate could go down to a choppy level, or possibly both. So 80% is the max I can go, and I don't really want to go over 15 minutes either, because then I risk having Cam Studio just refuse to save the file, and then I have to record everything over again. And that would suck. That would be a giant waste of time. So, yeah, this is the detailed explanation on why I'm not going over the 15-minute video. That and 15 minutes is, a good time to stop. Even now, after a few months of getting used to it, I think even doing it for 15 minutes without a break is starting to get on the long side, and people may tend to lose attention after 15 minutes, so I think doing it in 15-minute chunks is actually the best course of action for all kinds of reasons, including the technical problems I have and these lesser but still non-negligible reasons. So, we're done with the 5 fights in the 7-star restaurant for today, so I still have a bit of time left, so I'm going to head down to Route 213, get started on that. It's a beach route that leads to Pastoria. There's nothing of note on that route, except that it holds the last 2 heart scales that I need in order to give all the moves that I want to give to my eventual Togekiss and Lucario. But yeah, this is also, by the way, the last video I'm going to make before the Kingdom Hearts Marathon over at thespeedgamers.com. Remember, begins tomorrow, Friday, the 17th of December at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it goes on for 72 hours. So I'm going to be, well, not AFK, but I'm not going to be recording any new videos during the marathon, as usual. And remember, if we reach the donation goal, and I don't know what it is because the chip-in isn't up on the front page yet, well, there's a chip-in, but that's for the HQ. But if we reach the donation goal for the marathon, whatever it is, I'm going to reveal what my next side LP is going to be at some point, either on Monday or Tuesday. So, hopefully we all have a good time over at the marathon, and I will be seeing you next week. Okay, just a little last thing before I go. Just going to go beachcombing for items. I got that pearl over there. I got a heart scale, and I'm going to go for the second heart scale, which is all the way over there. And after that, I'll be all set when it comes to heart scales. And it's right here. Okay, so this time, for real, goodbye, and see you next week.